Alright, what is going on, guys? Today, I'm going to go over my UFC 306, UFC Noche fight card predictions. We're going to go over all the fights and give my predictions for every fight. Starting with which I'm surprised it's the first fight of the night, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Arichi Lang. I assumed they would put Raul Rosas Jr. on the pay-per-view. They put him on pay-per-view before. He's kind of like they want him to be their future star for the bantamweight division. So, honestly, kind of surprised that he is the prelim opener. But, nevertheless, obviously I'm going Raul Rosas Jr. Now, that's not just because, obviously he was kind of, I don't know if you got exposed, but he's since come back, won 2 fights, and I just think Arichi Lang, he's moved up from flyweight to bantamweight. He doesn't really have, that many good wins. I mean, let's see, he's got like a win over Jay Perrin, who Raul Rosas Jr. won in his debut. And in his last win, the guy he fought isn't even in the UFC anymore. So, as far as a prediction, I think Raul Rosas Jr., it's either going to be a first round rear naked choke or decision. I could see him out-grappling Arichi Lang all 3 rounds. Been working on his cardio, improving. Don't want to gas out like he did against Christian Rodriguez. So I'm going Raul Rosas Jr. via decision. Moving on. Edgar Chairez versus Joshua Van. Now, when this fight got announced, I was honestly kind of surprised. Joshua Van coming back, I believe it was 2 months ago. He had that knockout loss. I understand he's young. He wants to get that bad taste out of his mouth. 2 months ago. So he had that knockout loss to Charles Johnson. Not a bad loss. Charles Johnson's kind of on a hot streak recently. But it kind of worries me, if I'm being honest. I want to pick Joshua Van, and I might pick him. But coming back that quickly after a knockout loss, even when you are young, it's still, you see guys come back too soon all the time. I thought Jamal Hill, he was going to come back way soon after that knockout to Jamal Hill, or Alex Pereira. But he obviously didn't end up coming back. But still, I don't think Edgar Chairez is that good. I think Joshua Van will be able to outbox him. Van probably does have the grappling advantage as well. Makes me worried, though, kind of picking him just because of that. That's 2 months. That's a 8-week turnaround. That's quick. I'm going to go Joshua Van decision. I think he'll win a decision. I think he'll be, especially in the first round, I think he's going to be timid. Not do anything too crazy, not try to expose himself to getting clipped. So I'm going to go Joshua Van via decision. Moving on. Yasmin Jauregui versus Ketlin Souza. I'm going Yasmin Jauregui. Kind of low level at women's MMA. Giving her an easy win for Mexican Independence Day. Not much to say about that. I'm going to go Yasmin Jauregui via decision. Moving on. Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. This is actually a good fight. This is going to be... I think it could go either way, honestly. If we look at the reach, though... I thought Manuel Torres was going to have a reach advantage. He does not. He has a 73.5-inch reach, and Ignacio Bahamondes is a 75.5-inch reach. I'm looking at Ignacio Bahamondes' wins. You got Roosevelt Walbert. Win on the Contender Series. He's beat Trey Ogden. He lost to Ludovic Klein. Christos Gigos was his last win. Then if we look at Manuel Torres' last wins, he's on a longer streak. But again, he's not really beat. Neither of them have beaten anybody that good. Chris Duncan, Nicholas Mota, Frank Carmouche. Neither of these guys have, they're beating any super good, well-rounded opponents. But for my prediction, I will be going Manuel Torres. I think he will most likely win probably either a second round finish or a decision. I'm going to go decision. I think I'll win a decision. I don't think either of these guys both got pretty good chins. So I think we're going to go Manuel Torres via decision. Moving on to the card. Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont. So I'm looking at both of their most recent fights. Norma Dumont is on a 4-fight win streak, where Irene Aldana is only on a 1-fight win streak. The fight before that, she absolutely shit the bed versus Amanda Nunes. She got a title shot because Julia Pena was injured, steps in to fight her, and literally does nothing for 5 rounds. Absolutely nothing. Before that, she was on a 2-fight win streak. She beat Macy Chestone with an upkick to the liver. If I remember correctly, she was losing that fight. I'm going Norma Dumont. She's the underdog. She's on a 4-fight win streak. Again, not against the best competition. Her last one was Jermaine Durandamy, if I can say that. She hasn't fought in years. Coming back. Before that, embarrassed Chelsea Chandler. Before that, Carol Rosa. Before that, Daniel Wolf. So again, neither one of these has the greatest wins recently. But I think Norma Dumont's going to have more confidence. Watching that Irene Aldana fight with Amanda Nunes and her absolutely do nothing, I can't pick her. I can't. So I'm going Norma Dumont via decision. I don't see them, either of them getting a finish. If they do, it's going to be just something completely luck. So we're going Norma Dumont via decision. Moving up on the card, we have Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne. This is an easy fight to pick. I'm going Ronaldo Rodriguez. And for the method of victory, I'm going to go Ronaldo Rodriguez via rear naked choke. Ode Osborne, borderline, doesn't even deserve to be in the UFC. He's currently on a 2-fight losing streak. But before that, a win over Charles Johnson in a fight that I thought he lost. So he could be going on a 4-fight losing streak right now currently, if he would have lost that fight to Charles Johnson, which I thought he did. I think he'll probably lose this fight and then get cut from the UFC. 3-fight losing streak. Let's see, he's won 4 fights in the UFC, and he's lost 1, 2, 3, 4. He's lost 5 fights in the UFC. So he's got a losing record in the UFC, and I'm sure after this he'll have even more of a losing record, and he'll probably get cut. So with that being said, moving on. Next up on the card, we have Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovics. This is actually a really hard fight to pick on the card. Currently, Daniel Zellhuber is a pretty good favorite. But Esteban Ribovics is a good fighter. I don't think people should be looking down on him that much. Probably the biggest drawback to him is his reach. He has a 69-inch reach, and Daniel Zellhuber has a 77-inch reach. Both good fighters, both wins, good win streaks. Daniel Zellhuber is on a 3-fight winning streak, and Ribovics is on, let me pull it up real quick. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. His last win, I was there live for that, head kick KO of Terrence McKinney, 37 seconds into round number 1. I wanted him to win, Terrence McKinney that is. So it was kind of sad to watch, especially live in person. If you go back, though, and kind of look at their records, I do think, although not by much, I do think Daniel Zellhuber has fought the better competition. Therefore, I am going to go Daniel Zellhuber via decision. I think Esteban Ribovics is too hard to put away. I don't think he's going to be able to put him away. but I don't think he's going to be able to win. I think with that big of a reach disadvantage, I think he's going to have trouble where Bovics is. He's going to have trouble finding the distance, and I don't think he's going to be able to get any of his offense going. So with that being said, I will be going Daniel Zellhuber via decision. I realize I've been picking a lot of people by decision on this fight. The next three, well, I guess I can't say that. Moving on. Very, very excited for this fight. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. So previously we had this fight booked. Obviously, Brian Ortega had to pull out due to medical reasons, and Danny Ige stepped in on like 3 hours' notice. Now, that was also an opponent change for Diego Lopez. You know, he was game planning for Brian Ortega. Instead, he gets Danny Ige, which is a complete different matchup. I'm going Diego Lopez via decision. I think, now I wouldn't be surprised if he could get the TKO. I don't think he's not gonna put Brian Ortega out cold. I don't think that's gonna happen. He only has 2 losses via Brian Ortega is KO, TKO, and then 1 loss via decision. Their jiu-jitsu is gonna cancel each other out. He's not gonna be able to submit Brian Ortega. But it would not surprise me, you know, Diego Lopez definitely has the power advantage. Now, if this is a 5-round fight, which I would love if this is a 5-round fight, I would probably pick Brian Ortega via decision because, you know, in that last fight for Diego Lopez, he was kind of fading a little bit in that last round. I'd give Diego Lopez the striking advantage. I would say the jiu-jitsu probably cancels each other out. They're probably just as good on the ground. The power advantage definitely goes to Diego Lopez. So, wouldn't surprise me if we get maybe like a first round TKO by Diego Lopez. But I think Brian Ortega's tough. You know, he's been, you know, got beat up by Volk. He got beat up by Yair in his last fight. In the first round, just beat the brakes off of him for the first round. So I think he's pretty durable. But so for my official prediction, I'm going to be going Diego Lopez via decision. Moving up with the card, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko 3. Let's hopefully this time we can get a clear winner and we never have to see this fight again because I didn't even really want to see it a third time. But because one of the judges gave Alexa Grasso a 10-8 in the 5th round, which arguably she could have lost that round anyway, it doesn't make any sense, and she retains the belt. You know, in the last 2 fights, I thought Valentina Shevchenko would win. In a recent interview, I saw something that Alexa Grasso said, and essentially what she was saying is Shevchenko almost just point fights, and she doesn't go for it. And if she wants to get the belt back, she needs to go for it. I agree with her in that aspect. And I think one of 2 things is going to happen. Either Shevchenko is really going to light a fire under her ass, and she's going to go for it, and she's going to win via decision. I don't see her finishing Alexa Grasso. Or, you know, she's 36 years old. She's probably at the tail end of her career. She's been through a lot of big wars. She had a lot of kickboxing and Muay Thai fights before she was doing MMA. So I think if she wants to win, this is going to be her last chance. If she doesn't get the belt back now, I don't think she'll ever get it back again. But for my official prediction, I'm going to be going Valentina Shevchenko via decision. That last fight was... Let's see, when was that? Towards the end of 2023, you know, a year. It's been about a year, just about. And I thought Valentina Shevchenko won that last fight. So I'm going to pick her again. I'm going Valentina Shevchenko via decision. And it would not shock me if she loses, if Grasso wins. It would not shock me at all. Because I could see, you know, Valentina Shevchenko, kind of like Grasso was saying, just kind of going for almost like a point fighting and not really going for it. But I think the pressure is going to be on her to get her belt back. She wants to get her belt back. She wants to be considered the greatest women's flyweight fighter of all time. Moving on to the main event, we have Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. This is going to be a good fight. Honestly, really excited for this fight. Probably one of my most anticipated matchups of the year. If you take a look, you got Sean O'Malley, he wants to keep it on the feet. You got Merab, who wants to hug him against the cage for 5 rounds to a decision victory. There's a couple different ways I could see this fight going down. For Sean O'Malley, I think his easiest path to victory would be via knockout. And I think it's probably the most likely way he would win the fight. I do think it's possible that he could win by decision. I could see him keeping the distance between Merab. Aljo really couldn't get to O'Malley, so I could see Merab not being able to get to O'Malley. O'Malley's good with his footwork. He's good at keep circling and circling around, keeping good distance. Only going in when he has, he's like a sharpshooter. Only going in when he has a good shot. And the best way for Merab to win this fight is pretty much exactly what he did to Piotr Yan. Constant shooting of takedowns. Non-stop takedowns. Even if he doesn't get the takedowns, just shoot for the takedown. Now, how do I actually see this fight playing out? I've been seeing it, Sean O'Malley in interviews saying he's going to get a second round knockout. And, I think I would agree with him. I'm picking Sean O'Malley, second round knockout, and this is exactly how I think it's going to happen. I think you're going to have, the first round, Merab's going to be trying to figure his distance out, be trying to time the takedowns on Sean O'Malley, but I think he's going to be having trouble doing it. He's going to be panic shooting, not getting in on the takedowns. And then I think after the first round, O'Malley's going to kind of figure out to bait Merab in to a takedown. Merab's going to shoot on the takedown, and just like he did with Aljo, plink him, snipe him, and I could even see him getting put out cold. O'Malley has some of the best power in the bantamweight division right now. So for my official prediction, I'm going Sean O'Malley via second round KO. I do agree with what Sean O'Malley has been saying in his interviews. Merab he gets touched. In his last fight, he got rocked bad by Henry Cejudo. And O'Malley is way better of a striker than Henry Cejudo. And I don't even know if Merab's going to be able to get Sean O'Malley down. Aljo is having a tough time getting O'Malley down. Couldn't really do it. And what I think Merab's going to try and do is just constant forward pressure, constantly in O'Malley's face. And I think it's going to make him pay. O'Malley's going to make Merab pay by constantly pressuring. I think Merab's going to move in, and O'Malley's going to find his shot just like he did with Aljo. And I think he's going to clip him. He's going to drop him. And it's going to be a similar ending to how him and Aljo's fight went. I think it's going to be a TKO on the ground, and that'll be it. That'll be over. So, what do you guys think about the main event? Let me know in the comment section down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.